Key takeaways: the extent to which states and/or employers might adopt COVID-19 vaccine mandates remains an open question but could affect the distribution and uptake of vaccinations. This is likely to become a more prominent issue over time, as the need to vaccinate a large share of the U.S. population becomes more urgent in the face of variance and reluctance by some to get vaccinated, and if any of the vaccines which currently operate under Emergency Use Authorization, EUA, are fully approved by the Food and Drug Administration, FDA. This issue brief explains the legal basis for vaccine mandates by the federal government, states, and private employers, highlights considerations for mandates while COVID-19 vaccines are subject to an EUA, and discusses mandate exemptions based on disability or religious objection. Key takeaways include the following. The federal government's authority to institute a general vaccine mandate is unclear, and has not yet been tested in the courts, though it is likely limited at best. States' authority to mandate vaccines to protect public health is well established. Currently, all states require vaccines for school attendance, while state vaccine requirements for healthcare workers vary. More generally, though, states do not use mandates for adult vaccination and have thus far said they are not mandating COVID-19 vaccinations. Some private employers require influenza vaccines for employees in healthcare settings, unless prohibited by state law, and some employers and universities have already instituted mandates for COVID-19 vaccination for employees and/or students. At the same time, several states have sought to limit their ability to do so. More generally, however, it is unclear whether COVID-19 vaccines can be mandated while operating under an EUA, and courts have not yet ruled on this issue. When in place, under federal law, vaccine mandates may be subject to exemptions based on disability or religious objection. As COVID-19 vaccination efforts progress, it will be important to monitor any changes in government or employer policy as well as public opinion on vaccine mandates. Introduction: the extent to which states and/or employers might adopt COVID-19 vaccine mandates remains an open question but could affect the distribution and uptake of vaccinations. A substantial share of the population must acquire immunity, either through vaccination or previous infection, in order to get the pandemic under control. With several vaccines available for emergency use in the U.S. and distribution efforts underway, policymakers and public health officials are increasingly focusing on ways to accelerate the pace and maximize the extent of vaccine uptake. These efforts include increasing vaccine supply and relaxing eligibility requirements, public education and outreach campaigns, ensuring the accessibility of vaccine administration sites, job-based incentives, and even mandates.